Summum bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. Deaf, dumb, and blind. They will not get back. Deaf, dumb, and blind is very interesting. I mean, there are people that suffer these grave tribulations in the world, and part of their meaning, obviously, I would never limit that, but part of their meaning is for something like this to be realized, that there are people that don't have hearing. In fact, Dr. Cleary was deaf in one ear. He was partially deaf. And it's very difficult to be partially deaf or deaf in the world. Many people now young people are losing their hearing because they have the headphones and earphones, and so they don't know the preciousness of hearing. It's a great gift to be able to hear. And then dumb, not be able to speak. And all of us have been struck dumb at one time in our lives. I mean, everybody's had that point where they literally were speechless, were unable to speak. But there are people that can't speak ever. And if they're lucky, they sign. There was an amazing man at Tuimarat, where I studied with Marabat al-Hajj, who was blind. He was deaf and dumb, but he was not blind. He could speak somewhat, but he could read lips. He learned how to read lips. I don't know how he did that. He was a very unusual person. But all the people around Marabat al-Hajj, you saw things there that just were very unusual. And then blind, to be blind is a great tribulation, but it's also something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala generally, when He takes away some things, He enhances with other things. So blind people are very often, many of our greatest ulama were blind. In fact, Al-Azhar had a special place for the handicaps, because handicapped people, unlike in traditional Western culture where they were literally relegated to uselessness, in the Muslim world they were often given special training, so they had special ed. And in fact, Sheikh Abdullah al-Qadi actually did a study of all the handicapped ulama, and he was amazed at how many there were handicapped ulama. So, but Allah is using this as an analogy for people. It's as if they have ears but they don't hear. They have tongues but they don't speak because they're not speaking the truth. And they have eyes but they don't see. So they don't hear the truth, they don't speak the truth, and they don't see the truth. And this is the famous, the monkey from India, which is a beautiful meaning. Like, people take it the opposite of what it actually means. It's that we should hear no evil, speak no evil, and see no evil. That's a type of purity in people. So, alhamdulillah. Yeah, so he says the manifestation here, just before this, he says about the obsessions. Obsessions, shayateen. From this is derived English Satan, one of the names of the devil. This Arabic name comes from a root meaning to be perverse or obstinate, essential characteristics of obsession, referring to satanic rebellion against God, manifests as arrogance, ingratitude, and possessive obsession with things of the world. Another name of the devil comes from the root waswasa, which has the meaning of whispering or suggestion, referring to obsession as the epitome of the satanic characteristic and the activity. This particular verse depicts fools who publicly declare their faith in God, yet privately declare their devotion to their personal idols and obsessions, be it status, wealth, or anything else that may preoccupy their minds. The very levity with which hypocrites and fools treat their religion as a profession without a reality lets them go all the further, both in the outrages committed openly under the guise of piety and those committed covertly on the prompting of private obsessions. Outrages here, tughyan, means to transgress, exceed proper bounds, wander. And then he talks about the light that they see. This describes the unreliable light of artificial knowledge, of which false religion is one variety. God took their light in the sense that falsehood does not stand in the presence of reality. Subjective projections do not remain intact in the face of objective truth. Finite man-made thought fails to apprehend the infinite in itself. They will not go back They will not get back to reality or their source as long as they are totally preoccupied with their own fabrications. So then about this verse here, like a rain cloud from the sky in it, darkness, thunder, and lightning, they put their fingers in their ears. The manifestation of religion includes mystery, warning, enlightenment, and nourishment. These are symbolized by darkness, thunder, lightning, and rain. The ungrateful are mostly concerned with ignoring the warning for fear that it will prove true against them. What they do not realize is that reality encompasses them and judges them, whether or not they are consciously attentive of this fact. And then he says, the clarity of divine revelation is blinding to the eye, accustomed to the darkness of human confusion. With each renewal of revelation or revival of true knowledge, humanity makes some progress. When the infusion of inspiration subsides, however, humankind again stagnates. Although this process seems uncertain and erratic, at least humanity has a chance to use its God-given faculties to recognize revelation and live in its light. It is not the same as if we had no sense at all.